So Paul, first of all, how happy are you with how the team's gelled and bonded over the last 5 weeks or so?
Yeah, really pleased. I think I think it's been important that we've had a longer pre-season, mainly for that reason as well. So Saturday is week 6 for us, last game before the season starts. I feel we're in a really good place. Probably stepped up a level at the Bristol Rovers game. Lots of good things against Gosport as well. Certainly look going forward as though we're going to create chances and score goals, which is always important. It's just making sure that defensively we're sound as well, and that's something we've been working on quite hard this last week.
And moving on to Totton on Saturday, it's free entry. It's going to be a nice one in front of the fans, and it'll be a good one as well to really get some momentum going into the new season next weekend.
Yeah, they're a good side, Totton. Within the level they're playing at, I would expect them to probably win that league this year. So it's another competitive friendly against a local team that we all get on very well with. But yeah, it's our last game. I think it'll probably be Tottenham's last game before the season starts, and both sides will want to see good things within the game. Result, I keep saying the result isn't that important. It's knowing that within the result, you've done the right things.
And like we say, free entry. We want fans in. We want to make an atmosphere going into the new season.
Yeah, I think it's a really good gesture. Last game before the season starts, as I said, free entry into the ground. That's for everybody. And I hope the local community get to hear about it. Know that they can come along and just have a little taste of what this place is all about, because there's so much good things happening here. The first team have been training this week alongside the under 8s, 9s, 10s playing on the other pitch. We've played, I think, Tuesday with the walking football team and the kids playing. So I think there's been sort of 50, 60 people on the pitch at one given time. I think you look at Saturday. Saturday we had a fantastic tournament here. Something like 65 teams, over 600 kids. Then the first team played against Gosport, and then there was another game in the evening, afterwards. I think it was, a fantastic attribute to the football club to see from 9 o'clock in the morning, I think, to nearly 8 o'clock at night that pitch was being used by the community. So, it's and we're hoping for a decent crowd Saturday. Hopefully, get a good send off ready for the league season to start. So yeah, it's all good.
And you've emphasised before, it's all about getting the minutes in before pre-season. Will the same factor be taken into consideration against Totton?
Yeah, so the last game really is you're trying to treat it as your last, as almost as a league game. So the majority of the team there will play for longer than 60 minutes and give them that 90. A lot of them will get 90 prior to us starting at home to Welling on the Saturday.
And you mentioned there, do you have a sort of who you're having in that starting 11 come Welling next Saturday? Or is
I think we were really close. We've been close for probably a week or two in terms of what we were looking to go for. In football, you've got to be very flexible and adaptable, because whilst we've got a good squad, it's full of quality, it's a small squad. So you pick up a couple of niggles, and then you start having to just sort of be a bit more flexible, and that's perhaps even what we've had to do today. We picked up a couple of knocks. We'll wait to see how they are for Saturday, but that's where the flexibility of the squad and players have got to be good enough to be able to go from one position potentially into their second favourite position. So yeah, we're be an interesting game Saturday. I'm looking forward to it.
I know you mentioned after the Gosport game that Jamie Collins would be in for a scan. Have you had any results back on him?
Yeah, so he had a scan at 9:30 today. The results we expect through either late this afternoon or first thing tomorrow morning. Just from my experience of looking at hamstrings, you are looking at probably a 4 week to 6 week period, which is a blow for us because he's come in and done a great job. But for me, that just gives someone else that opportunity to go and try and make that place their own. So every time there's an injury, you've got to see it as the possibility that another player can come in and impress. And I think, as I said, you look at our squad, there's very little in between most of the players, to be honest. So it's a very competitive squad. And if you've got the shirt and you do well, you keep it. So if there's an injury, make sure you do well enough to stay in.
And just finally, with things more or less back to normal now, how excited are you for the kick-off next weekend?
Oh, listen, it's been a terrible 18 months. There's certain players within the squad that managed to carry on last year, but even that was without playing in front of crowds. And players at this level deserve to play in front of a decent crowd. They deserve to have the atmosphere, and they'll tell you themselves it's it's so different playing behind closed doors. It's almost got that friendly mentality to it. You can't help but feel that. So for me, being back with our supporters, especially on Saturday, I don't think any of us can wait a week Saturday. And you almost want pre-season to be finished and actually the league starts on Saturday. But we've got one more week to do. You know, we'll enjoy that week, keep working hard. A few more bits to just polish off, I think. You know, you're never content. But I feel we're in a good place to start the season. And we've got a tough start. You know, you look at our start, I think 4 of our first 6 games are away from home. You know, Hampton, Ebbsfleet, St Albans, Chippenham feature. So that's 3 of the top 6 last year we've got to go away from home in the first 6. And then we've got Oxford City and Welland. So, you know, it's not an easy start, but it's one that I feel we're ready for.
Brilliant, Paul. Thanks very much.
Cheers, Ryan.